Hi, I'm Rajiv Parikh. I'm the CEO of Position2, and this is our Best of the Week for the week of February 8th, 2013. We read hundreds of digital marketing articles and bring the best of them to you. The highlights for this week include the big announcement by Google on its enhanced campaigns. We'll have a big feature on that and how that impacts you, the marketer. 9 ways to guarantee a winning social campaign. Key piece of research that came out and what we've learned behind that. An article by the Position2 team on B2B and marketing automation, some of the key definitions in ongoing series. So let's get started. First, let's talk about Google and its enhanced campaigns announcement. This announcement occurred just this week, and it's all about how marketers are going to transition over the next 6 months to a new way of managing AdWords. They're now going to be able to see multiple devices managed by a single campaign. So this is different than what you had before, where you would have a different campaign for each different device. And you'd have to be fairly sophisticated in your understanding of the purchase cycle in terms of running those campaigns. Now, why is that? Well, we're essentially in a 24/7 world where we switch from smartphone to tablet to laptop to our desktop. And so we're moving all the time. Sometimes we have all 3 next to us and we're managing it that way. So as a business, we want to be able to market ourselves across those devices in a seamless way where we recognize the context that people live in. Let me give you an example. For example, say you're searching for pizza at 1 p.m. on a desktop. Right? As a marketer, when you see that search for a pizza, you want to give them an offer potentially on an online order form. Now, if that same person is using their smartphone and they're within a quarter mile of one of your restaurants and it's 7 o'clock, well, maybe as a pizza place, you'd want to show a phone number and directions. Maybe you even want to have a coupon or offer. And if the person's really close to your restaurant, you'd want to bid higher than if they were 10 feet away or 10 miles away. So there's a big difference in how you'd bid and how you'd act based on where that person is. Now you can bring that all together in one place. There are 3 things you want to think about with regard to this enhanced campaign capability. First, this is a marketing tool for a multi-screen world. And it's going to have different signals by which you would adjust your bids. It's not just based on a location like you might have had before, but it's device, its location, its time of day, and it's bringing it all together in a single campaign, like our pizza example. Before, you could do some of these things, but they would be done in multiple campaigns. It'd be harder to understand. Second, you're going to have smarter ads for differing user contexts. So people are looking for different things when they're on the go than when they're at their desk, even when they search for the same thing. So marketers will want the right kind of ads for those situations, a site link or app, without having to edit each campaign for device, time of day, location, distance. All of these things you can have in a seamless, single type of campaign where you can think through the buying process but not have an administrative nightmare. For example, a retailer would want to show a link to their e-commerce site if you're from a desktop, versus location data if you're near one of the locations with a smartphone. Number 3, you'll have advanced reports giving you new conversion types. And I think this is one of the biggest issues we have as marketers, is doing that attribution and comparison. It's a complex thing. So now we can bring that notion of attribution together. We can attribute and compare a call versus a download versus a form fill. These are all things we can do because it's all within a single campaign. And by having that under that one campaign, it becomes much easier to compare those as well as how other campaigns perform. A lot greater capability than before. What are the implications of this? Well, it really depends who you are. And of course, that's the famous answer every marketer will give you, but this is really true. If you're like most businesses, small to mid-sized businesses, those businesses have had a hard time understanding the value of a click on a desktop versus a mobile device. And it's been hard to go through that whole purchase cycle and purchase process and determine the differences. And so that's why mobile values have tended to be lower. That's what at least most people think, that they've tended to be lower for that reason. Now you have to think about all that together. Businesses will have to start thinking about their mobile optimized landing pages. What are you going to do for that landing page across a smartphone versus a desktop? And we had if you looked at one of our previous Best of the Weeks, you'll have a whole series of discussions on what responsive design is, which is really formatting what people see based on the type of device they're coming on. If you're a sophisticated marketer or agency, this is where there have been real issues, because those firms, and ours have been doing the same thing, we've been taking advantage of the granularity and the option to have a campaign for a desktop device, a tablet device, or a mobile device. And we've been bidding and taking advantage of the lower bid values and click values for tablets and laptops. Now, one of the biggest areas of consternation is that tablet versus laptop differentiation is going to go away. And so a lot of folks are concerned that the tablet price will go up to equal that of the desktop. And that's a valid concern. What Google says is that their studies have shown that when people use tablets, it's really a lot like a desktop. When they published one of their studies where they talked about, if you look at the top usage, areas of usage were couch, bed, home, kitchen. Only 3% of usage was in a car or in a mobile sense. So it's an interesting debate. For a lot of marketers, they have very sophisticated bid management systems, automated bid management systems. And these will need to be transitioned, and that'll cause some location, probably significant location. There's also concern about quality score, because quality score is campaign dependent. And now when you're taking away campaigns and starting new ones, you have to reset that score, and that affects your click prices and your ability to get the best value, best ROI for the campaign that you're offering. What people are really excited about is the ability to take these different signals, location, time of day, and device, and put them together in a single campaign. And that'll probably drive people for more signals. It could be tablet, breaking out that tablet from the desktop, because there's different types of tablet. An iPad mini is different from an iPad. It may be different from a whole set of devices that people will come out with. People may want new types of signals, like weather or traffic. If it's raining, and you may not want to walk as far, and therefore, as a business, maybe you want to bid differently. Same thing goes if there's a heavy traffic time versus a light traffic time. Now, what are the implications for Google? Well, this is for the investor types out there, but we're all interested because we're part of that Google ecosystem. Mobile bids have been lagging because of the lack of recognition and volume. And of course, this will probably change with this new situation. For Google also, they're the only player to have this sort of breadth to see the complete user journey from research to purchase. And so they'll have this will really strengthen their hold on the market and the advertising market. And but my opinion is, at least for Google, when people talk about that difference between tablet values and laptops, is that some of this will play out in the bidding performance. If it doesn't perform, people won't bid as much. And so those things will essentially average itself out, because Google is really an economic system. It's a bidding system. So I'd ask you to check out these articles, because this is an important change for your business. And fortunately, Google is going to transition this over time. They're not forcing everyone to jump into this right away. It's going to take several months, probably a couple quarters. So there's going to be some time for you to adjust. But please check this out, because this will be important for how you market your business. 9 ways to guarantee a winning social campaign. This is an article that was published in iMedia Connection by Joseph Carabas of NextStage. This research consulting firm was commissioned in 2009 to do a study of social efforts for 400 companies, typically large ones like Walgreens, Gucci, and Boston Scientific, to name a few. These successful companies followed 9 best practices that he pulled into this article. And I pulled from them 3 that I believe are unique and useful and worth calling out. Number 1, 79% of these successful companies recognized that bad was good. Meaning having negatives in negative comments on your site or about you, the sites that you control, show that you are more authentic. And it shows that you have the confidence to respond to it. And what they found was the more successful companies had a ratio of 4.6 to 1 of positive to negative comments. 95% of these firms trusted their communities. So this is a situation where you put up a community and you have to be able to relinquish control of it. You have to let people go and have conversations and not necessarily espouse your marketing message. So what this does is, while you lose control, it creates this class of village elders who act as unpaid influencers for you and basically can help promote you, as well as police antagonistic behavior. If someone comes in and tries to sort of troll into your site, they will shout them down. And this has happened in many different cases, from Southwest Airlines to Apple. Just many different products have seen this sort of situation occur. A third one that I liked was that 99% had everyone in the business participate. And you know, it's one thing to have a marketing person or a social media person that's designated for this and might do a lot of the communication, but it's like PR, and it's your outward face to the environment. So a lot of the successful firms had sessions like chat with the CEO, or ask R&D, or marketing sponsored tweet-ups. And this is how you reach out. So it's very relevant to your business. And it's very relevant to how people view your business when they evaluate you. So check the article out. B2B marketing and marketing automation. This is first in a series that's brought to you by your Position2 team. As many of you may know, B2B marketing can be very complex. It has a long sales cycle with multiple players, ranging from the business side, the technical side, the user group, the financial side, evaluators and decision makers. And at the same time, because of this complexity, field salespeople are expensive. They're very knowledgeable, and there's a lot of cost in having them meet folks face to face. Inside sales is not inexpensive either, and is an adjunct and is an important component of this particular effort. And because of this, companies need to know where to focus their marketing efforts. At the same time, most people like to research things before being contacted by a salesperson. As many as 80% of people have been shown to want to do their research first before they contact you. And they will go to things like trade shows, or they'll see articles and white papers, webinars, they'll do search and social media. And so as a business, we've always talked about bringing that right content to those people in these different formats. So what's important here is to understand this process and automate it. So whereby after a certain amount of touches, that may be where you want to reach out, or change the frequency, or give them different material. And this is why marketing automation is so important, because you can nurture folks until they reach the point where they become a prospect worth contacting, and you can score them in terms of the type of prospect that they are, in terms of their buying power, in terms of their industry, and what their level of interest is before they turn into a sales-ready lead. The key players in this market include Marketo, Eloqua, and Unica. So what we do in this first article is define some key terms. Terms like demand generation, lead scoring, lead nurturing, program management, workflow, and revenue cycle in this context. So check out the article. It'll be first of many, and let us know what you think. We'd love to get your comments. We'd love to get your feedback. Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or send them via email to marketing@position2.com. Until next week, this is Best of the Week.